Greetings, Baba.
Greetings. Welcome to Warrior Class.
Where the teachers whip ass.
And you will too if you pass.
Yeah. Hey, this is, hold on, got an echo. This is the, what number? I really want to get a number episode of it.
90, like 90 or something.
I
Yeah.
thought we weren't doing that.
No, we're not, but I'm like, we're getting real close to 100. So
Yeah, we had 90 something. We had 90 something.
Indication.
it's the politics of being dangerous. Yeah, because, our 2 years comes up in July.
I thought it was June. It's not
Mm,
June?
Let me see, April, May. No, so we started going doing the technique of the week in June.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
2 months after uh, Black Power Media began. They began in April. We came on 2 months later with Technique of the Week. And then a month after that, we were rocking with our own show.
Beautiful. That's what's up.
Came on strong. We came on strong.
Came on
Peace.
strong.
Peace to Dr. Jared Ball, Eugene Mason, and I Manifesto. Welcome, family.
We got, a couple exciting things before we get into it. So this is the politics of being dangerous.
Second round, peace.
But before we get into it, got an announcement to make. So next Sunday, I believe it's at 6. It's either 6 or 7. I believe it's at 6. Yeah, because we're going on to give Ear Doctor enough time for Sundays. Is the first episode of African Spiritual Resistance.
Oh, right.
So that will be dealing with the history of African spirituality in our fight for liberation. It'll be dealing with how African spirituality can be used now for your liberation. And we'll be talking about dealing with certain things. What is African spiritual resistance? First of all, what does it mean to be African? What is it? What is spirituality? Spirituality versus religion. We'll be dealing with all those kinds of good things on the show, bringing in guests from different African spiritual traditions, and maybe a couple from religions. We'll see. If they want to even be bothered with us after the first episode of the religions want to be bothered with us. We bring on some atheists, and share with them my theory that most atheists, not all, but most atheists are all disgruntled or disillusioned or disillusioned Christians.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know.
That's why their argument is always arguing
Against the Bible.
Christianity,
right?
Or against the Judeo-Christians.
It's Abrahamic.
It's Islam, arguing against. I had an individual one time trying to argue with me. I don't argue with folks. Okay, I don't argue with some because I feel African spirituality is older than them. I don't argue with folks about African martial arts. It's older. You got beef with me. I don't have beef with you. I know where your shit came from.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know its value or lack of. Not being arrogant, it's just the truth. But brother tried to argue with me and says, well, when the person dies, when a rapist dies, where do they go? I said, you automatic. I said, how you could tell the intelligence of a person? Intelligence within, because he was intelligent, but the intelligence within what you're talking about, or lack of intelligence, ignorance, or what have you, is based on the questions they ask. I said, you're asking me that question based on your reality. Your reality is in Christianity, brother.
Right.
Because you think I'm going to say, well, they go to hell, and the good guy go to heaven. I said we all go in the ground, and we're eaten by maggots. That's where we go. Now, if you're talking about from a spiritual thing, do we believe in the heavens? Yeah, we don't believe in hell. We don't believe in heaven like a place, the silver city. We don't believe in that. And if anybody from an African tradition you're telling you that, they're a Baptist with a dashiki on. So that's why we decided to do the show to clear up certain things. Even in your analysis and your argument, you got to know what the hell you're talking about, because you're not talking to a person that is practicing Christianity or Islam, but calling myself an African traditionalist.
Right.
You're not dealing with that. Same way, if people try to argue with martial arts, what basis are you coming from? You're coming from the Asian mindset. So you cannot have an intelligent discourse with me about African martial arts. Now, we can talk about martial arts in general.
Right.
But you cannot have an intelligent discourse with me about what African martial arts is, and you don't do the shit. You cannot. That's the whole thing. We said, well, you never did Asian martial arts. Can you have an intelligent analysis? Yes, because we're surrounded by that jive. We're surrounded by that jive. Just like black people know white people better than white people know black people, because we're surrounded by their ass and their world and what they believe. We're surrounded by their belief system.
Right.
So we understand it even if we don't practice it, right? We're surrounded by
immersed in the culture. The culture's all around us.
Around it. Huh?
I was saying the culture's all around us. You can't help but see it and know what it is.
And all culture is rooted in beliefs, practices of the people. It codifies what those people believe and how they live.
Right.
Everything that you consider cultural, that includes martial arts. So if you're doing an Asian martial arts, you are certainly immersed in Asian belief.
Absolutely. That is so true.
So, hey, so if we're going to have a discourse, we can talk about martial arts together. If you want to talk about African martial arts, you better take a class somewhere.
I mean, they don't even try to study it, or from any kind of even an academic perspective. At least even here on this show, we've gone into the different martial arts in different parts of the world, and at least pierce the surface of those. They have no idea what African martial arts.
And actually, all of us have studied and taken Asian martial arts before.
Right.
I know you have, Bob. Even while you were still trying to know, you have, and I definitely have too. So
right.
Definitely.
So there's a book. I won't name the book. I'm not breaking on the author. He's a well-studied professor. However, he writes a book about African martial arts. He's writing about capoeira, which is an offshoot. So stop it. And you're pushing that out there like it's real, but you read through it. He's just talking about the martial sports. I mean the game
dance.
Well, he ain't talking about dance at least.
Oh, not the dance.
So he's talking about different games that warriors play, because that's all his understanding is. If I get some people to protect me, and they say, "Yeah, we learn from these games." Shit, I gotta find somebody else. We played these games. Well, have you ever involved yourself? Have you ever engaged in combat? Oh no.
But they played PS5.
Combat is and how it affects you and how it's going to affect the people that follow you. No. We play these games. Oh shit! I gotta get somebody else.
Bob, I use that same mentality on social media or even off social media, talking about racism with white folks. Like, what experience do you have with racism for me to have a conversation about you? I mean, with you about racism.
Talking with white folks or
when white folks try to chime in when we talk about racism,
we are experiencing some racism. Okay.
No, I don't have the conversation because my question is, what prominent Black teachers or have you studied? What have you studied about racism to give you some insight to be able to have a conversation on what racism is in America?
Now, I'll say I do know of some professors who are not Black who study.
Right, exactly. But most regular folks,
white. I'm sure there's some.
Right.
I think a couple have been on Black Power Media. That's the only way I even knew about them. Not too many of us have put in, real study on our oppression. We just know we're oppressed.
It's the 85%. The 85% rule applies with everything.
But one thing about us, it doesn't matter how mired in ignorance we are, we know we're oppressed. Well, not all of us, because some of us, goddamn, think we're in heaven.
It was a dude
they think we were jacked up when we were in Africa.
Yeah, dude,
rescued.
A city councilman just passed Confederate Day. This Black city councilman, or I believe somewhere, I think he Tennessee or Alabama, he just passed Confederate Day, honoring
Confederate Day.
Yeah, this Black dude.
Whoa, hold on, I missed that. A Black dude.
There's a Black city congressman or some city official that got elected that passed Confederate Day. His dad or his granddad was a slave that fought for the Confederacy. Was one of the sons of the Confederate.
Generations of coons. I'm sorry.
First,
that's terrible.
I have my doubts when like some Hollywood likes to show that too, about where they like to show the Confederate soldier who's a good guy, really has a Black buddy, like on Hell on Wheels. His best friend was Black and got jacked up by a bear, lost his mind really, and
that was
he just him and him, first they were enemies and then they became the best of friends. Get that shit out of it. First of all, don't show me a white Union soldier that's buddies with a Black person. That's all bullshit. All that's bullshit. And don't show me the South is so evil, the Confederacy, and the North ain't.
Now they ain't showing you.
Union ain't. So the Union, they the saints and they will die for Black folk. And those whites, that's a different white. I grew up, goddammit, in Chicago.
Right, like a white person gonna take up for you.
Where there wasn't any slavery per se, right? But goddamn, Chicago is at one point, I don't know if it still is, was the most segregated city in the world. Racially segregated, and it was racist as hell. Black people could not go to Marquette Park at all. They're gonna get their head busted to white meat. You could go to North Riverside because they had a theater and they had a mall, but your ass better be out of there by the time that theater closed. When I was young, this dude had threatened to try to rob me, cracking his knuckles. You're gonna give me $5 when you leave. I was like 10, 11 years old. I ain't giving you shit. He tells the people, this little boy is cursing at me, disrespecting me. And so the people, they knew me. Said, Adam, you disrespecting this man, cursing at him and stuff. I said, he was trying to rob me. He said, y'all know I wouldn't do this. His name is Ron. I wouldn't do that to him. And when they looked away, he was like, wait for you out here. So I said, all right. He said, he's going to wait for me out there. They said, what? So he looked, he's out there. And so the chick who managed the store, Lovey, she called the police. I said, well, you ain't got to call the police. I'm going out there. She said, no, I know you can fight with that African karate, but that's a grown man. And, he may have a weapon or something. Sorry, we didn't believe you, up front. The police come. They drag him in the place. Is this him? I said, I guess. He said, see, you don't know it's me because I don't want to be talking to the police. So they said, Adam, let me say, Adam, tell him. And by that time, the owner, LD, he's come to the store. LD says, Adam, tell him. Now, these people are like parents to me. I've been going to that store for long, and they've been, real good to me. Tell him. I said, yeah, it's him. They said, get in the car. They put him in the back. They put me in the front with them. They take his shoes off. I said, where are we going? He said, we're going to show you what happens to people that do this to little children. It really, to niggas is what they wanted to say. But they didn't say that. What happens, people like him that do this to children, little children. So they drive us to Marquette Park. He's crying. He realized, please, man, please, I'll do anything. Please, just take me to jail, please. He's begging to go to jail because he don't want to get put out there.
Oh, right, yeah.
And he said, no, get your ass out of here. And they drag him out of the car with no shoes, so it's going to be hard for him to run and shit. No shoes. They throw him out there. Said, this is what we do. He said, you want his shoes? I said, I can't fit those. He said, all right, so they drive off, leave him there. He cried, please, trying to chase the police car to get back in. Take me to jail. They drive off. They throw his shoes out the window as we driving, and they take me home. And they say to me, you don't get in trouble because you'll end up same place.
Mm-hmm. They were teaching you too.
Not, sorry about that happened to your son. You don't get yourself in trouble. You don't be like him, or you exactly what they said, or you'll end up in the same place. These bastards, right? And I'm thinking my whole time, why y'all drop him here? Because I'm looking at this, I said, oh man, this Marquette Park, they didn't drop him in Marquette. Even as a little boy, we know Marquette Park is dangerous, right? So, somebody said, I'm in Bridgeport at the moment. I remember when I couldn't cross the bridge into Bridgeport. Boom. See?
Mm-hmm.
So that, he got done like that, man. That, for Chicago is racist as hell. We all understand racism. We all understand Christianity. Even we're atheists or never dealt with it. I had been a Christian until I was 12, and my mother gave me a choice to stay at home or continue to go to the church, stay at home, watch the food cook, because she knew I had too many questions for Christianity and didn't like it. So I chose to stay home. That was the end of my being a Christian. I didn't step foot into another church until I was in the Nation of Islam, and the minister spoke at this mega church that was there, right? Not breaking on the church. I'm just, my sister's a pastor of a mega church. I love her. I would go to her church if she invited me. I watch her videos, when she preaching, and I put my love on her because I love her. And she speaks intelligently. Of course, she's intelligent. But when I remember when I first became a member of the Nation of Islam, my sister was worried. My parents always been like, do what you're gonna do. As long as it ain't just harming nobody. As long as it ain't harming nobody, we know you're intelligent. Do what you're gonna do. You got to find your path. But my sister was like, nah, in the nation, no, you're gonna be rejecting God, this and that. She didn't know anything. And she talked to a pastor about it. And the pastor said, oh, come in the office, Billy. This is how she became a minister. Let's come in the office. He opened up this cabinet and he had every tape of the minister. At the time, you had the cassette tapes and he had the videos, which was on VHS at the time, right? He said, he's going to be all right. All my lectures, I'm teaching from Minister Farrakhan's lectures from a Christian, I put a Christian spin on it. And that is what led her to becoming a minister herself.
He probably was a Shriner. Said Assalamu alaikum on the low anyway.
So real Shriners are always white. You don't see real black Shriners.
Oh, okay. In Chicago?
Period. So when you see black so-called Shriners, they're usually Prince Hall Masons.
Right.
That's Prince Hall Masons. I don't want to trip on much, but I know the history. So my grandfather was actually in the Masonic tribe, in the Masonic, not tribe, cult, if you will, the real ones, the Masons that came over from Europe. Okay, they thought he was an old swarthy white dude. My grandfather was black and was killing the hell out of white folks, but he was in that. Now I can't believe they thought he was a white dude. I think they just had him there because he used to get paid to do hits on white folks for white folks. I think they just had him there. That's probably where he would get his instructions from. I don't know, but that's my conjecture on that because he didn't look white to me. I can't see how he was very light skinned. I can't see how they would make that mistake. But so all my life, I've known about Masonry. A bunch of my family members, Masons, Eastern Stars, damn near all of them. Okay. In Prince Hall and otherwise. And Prince Hall Masons who reached the 33rd degree are not like 33rd degree Masons from the European Masonic Lodge. That's all I'll say on that. And then as you get initiated into Ifa, you learn a lot of that stuff was copied.
Yeah, you learn a lot of it from, different things. You pick it up. Yeah. So anyway,
when you hear people say things about in the nation, they'll say, they got their Muslim sons, and
right.
So people have different beliefs in what they are. All I'll say is, as an initiate to Ifa, I know exactly, an initiate to other things, I know exactly where certain parts of that comes from. All right. I know exactly the origin. I know exactly where it comes from.
I definitely can say that.
People talk about crossing the burning sands. I know where that comes from.
It's all the study of us, just so you know. But anyway,
of course, all the study of us. Believe me, I know Masonic traditions and belief a lot more than you could ever imagine, and that's all I'll say on that. Somebody asked me one time, am I a traveling man? And there's a reason why. But anyway, the Masons, it's like a secret society guild. Yes, so secret society started with us. Not going too far off on that, but I'm in a couple of secret societies. One, we call them Egbe's in Ifa. I'm in Egbe Ogun, actual Egbe Ogun. So the martial art, we call it Egbe Ogun in honor of that. But there are layers to that. Okay. And you'll see people in our group initiated to the society Egbe Ogun. Okay. Then I'm in Egbe Obatala. I'm an initiative of Obatala. I'm in Egbe Ifa. I'm an initiate of Ifa. I'm in a specific Egbe, which is your personal society. We all belong to that, but there's initiations that take place within that. Okay. My wife's initiated a certain thing that I have no clue about. She don't talk about, right? Because those are secret societies. The reason why it's not talked about with everybody is not for elitism. It's because the hope is when you find your way to that society, we don't ruin your initiation for you. So I don't tell them about the initiation into Egbe Ogun. That's for them to find out when they get initiated to Egbe Ogun. Okay. I don't want to ruin that experience for them. I don't tell them what the initiation to Ifa is. When they make that step or to Ogun, to Obatala, when they make those steps, that's for them to enjoy and to get their learning, their personal learning from. It's not for me to dictate what it's going to be or ruin their experience by telling them too much. Okay, that's why it's secret. That's why it's secret. But know that every secret ain't 100% secret.
Ain't no secrets. It's just things that's kept sacred.
Somebody done talked.
Right. I wanted to talk about. We'll just briefly mention the fact that the current administration has lost the Human Services Secretary. Was just testifying that about these reports of over 85,000 missing children.
Where?
Immigrants, of course.
In the United States?
Yep. So this is a story just came out not too long ago from Adam Shaw, Fox News, but it's a Health and Service Secretary on Wednesday told a lawmaker he was unfamiliar with reported statistics that the agency had been unable to make contact with over 85,000 unaccompanied child migrants who have been released to sponsors after being encountered at the southern border. The Times reported that while HHS checks on all minors by calling them a month after being released to sponsors, data shows that over the last 2 years that the agency couldn't reach more than 85,000 and lost immediate contact with a third of the migrant children. And just reported just coming out, they had to testify at this, before the Senate Finance Committee regarding the budget. So this is some stuff that is coming out at the time. So I thought that was something very interesting that came out. Actually, it wasn't even supposed to come out. This was about something else, but somebody slid that in there, and I just thought it was really interesting. So just we always, we kind of keep a motto of being careful and being aware of what's going on out there. So be aware that it's constantly children being missing and coming up missing.
Right. Always.
As we get to it.
When people say God is good, and the person answers what?
All the time.
All the time. I always think about myself. Somebody guiding me. I gotta be good to myself all the time. And part of being good to yourself is always being aware of what the hell is out here. Because it can make your day not so good.
But dangerous. What makes a person dangerous? Not having a docile mind, not being easy to be swayed, not being a part of a group that can be manipulated very easy. You know what I'm saying? I was just thinking about my daughter, how she didn't have to break certain chains that I had to overcome, kind of like learning about, so-called the white man. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to learn these type of things at a certain age, and it's kind of like with her, I was able to kind of like never had to talk about like white people are this, that, and the third, and so I never had to come to her like that. I just had to let her see the world. You know what I'm saying? And how it actually is. And then she gonna ask the right question. Well, how did this get like, well, why is this that? All right, well, these people did this did this, and this happened over here, and this, that, and the third. And for her to have that, I don't know, like it's like I can see like I said, chains is almost like mental chains that kind of hold you down because you don't really know your potential and who you are and what you come from, and your whole all your history goes back to slavery. You know what I'm saying? When I was like 16, 17, everything was just back. I didn't really have a big over like cast of who we were at that time, and she has that, and it's like a powerful thing to see in our children. You know,
when I was in school, my father protested when I was in elementary school before I went to the school for the gifted. And I say that it's just important because the school for the gifted, there were 7 black people at first when I first went there. And they had their little black history bullshit. But it was better than the shit at the black school. The black school, 90%, every time we had Black History Month back then, 90% of it was dealing with slavery, our enslavement. Like, dang, what? So my father protested, so they end up doing this play where we portray different black legends and icons in history. It was funny. So, of course, with my father protesting, I got picked to be Malcolm X. And when you see the picture, it looks crazy because I had this big ass fro. I refused to cut my fro. You know, my parents were like, "Look at the pictures of Malcolm X. Look, you know, he's handsome with short hair." I said, "Yeah, he's handsome. He's handsome. I'm handsome with my big afro." So I refused to cut the afro. So I'm playing Malcolm X, but I got a big ass afro on my head, man. It was crazy. But I said, I'm gonna honor him with I'm gonna make it, you know, as round, purpley round as possible. So I got this purpley round, pretty afro. But people are like, well, what character are you? Okay, we know that's Martin Luther King. That's, you know, and I'm Malcolm X. I said, well, they said, how will we know you Malcolm X? I said, well, I'm tall and I'm red. And so that was, you know, I got the tallness and the redness down, but I'm not cutting my hair, you know.
I love the fact that by the time I was in the 10th grade, my social studies teacher for Black History, she let everybody do our own report, you know, whatever we wanted to do on Black history. And by then I had got all the Dr. York books and all that kind of stuff. And by the time I was 17, all the cat, rat, dog and all that. So I did a report about Sudan being called the land of 2 blacks because it's believed that's where Adam and Eve came from. Like, that's the Garden of Eden.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you should have seen it. The funny thing is that teacher, that social studies teacher, that white lady, she posted my thing up and everything. You know how some white folks be so like proud, like a pet almost of the black dude to do good. Boy, she was so proud. Like, she followed me today on Facebook. Shout out to Miss Bragg. Shout out to Miss Bragg who followed me, and she changed to this day. She put my thing up. She was like, "Oh my God, I just can't believe!" Like, no, like I felt like the hero, boy. I was like, "But we ain't everybody else the slaves and all that." I'm talking about the garden. Yo, I was. Shout out to Dr. York. Hey, say what you want to say. He had me crazy in high school. They didn't want to talk to me, boy. I'm walking around with a true God on the back of my ass. You see my jacket that my daughter wear now? I was tripping. So yeah, by the time I got ready to graduate, bad thing about it is I ain't think about doing good in school no more. So that kind of messed me up. But anyway, I was dangerous though. I was dangerous in the head.
Well, first, let's give a definition of dangerous. So dangerous means likely to injure or harm someone or to damage or destroy something. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the politics of being dangerous.
Yeah, boy.
We're going to get into it. So think about that. The politics of being dangerous.
Hit the light, hit the share button. We about to get into it, everybody. Let everybody know we about to hit it. About to get into it.
Absolutely. Donate.
Yes, exactly. Or donut. So man, give us donuts if you know.
I don't want no donuts. I don't need no donuts. I need some donuts.
She lying. You give her some vegan donuts, y'all. She gonna not good.
All right. So what does it mean to be dangerous? How do we make ourselves more dangerous? And why is this important in the first place? Okay. Y'all may think being tough, strong, athletic, and capable is being dangerous. Being those things is important, but equally so are the softer interpersonal communication and dynamic skills. All right. There's an emphasis in society on being a good person, being a good person. But a lot of times, good to us is being milquetoast, being shea butter, being a shea butter soldier.
Right.
You're a soldier, but you ain't.
And that's social engineering. That's by design.
Mm-hmm.
Docile.
You want to, you think that being harmless is being a good person, but being a harmless person is not a good person. A weak person is not a good person. There's this individual, Jordan Peterson. I don't really know Jordan Peterson's history, but what he said made sense when he said, if you're weak, and weak in this instance is harmless, can't be good.
Right.
It takes strength to be it takes to be a good person. You have to be strong, right? If you're a strong person, then you're good because you have to work at that.
Right. You weak, you
have
gonna
to
be good.
restrain yourself.
I would say it like it said in Ifa. It says that the person who is chronically ill, and that could be physical or otherwise, the person who's chronically ill has bad character. Now, does that mean everybody? Because we know some people chronically ill, got chronic cancer, got whatever it may be. Does it mean they're a bad person? No. But it can lead to bad things whenever you're in whatever kind of bad condition. You say, well, how? If I am weak, somebody could say, well, we give you this money to betray your people. And not just outright betray. You're not really betray. You're going to portray Yoruba Ben Wahid in this movie as a person who really didn't put in the work. He really hired Joe to do the work for him. He really wasn't doing it. See, that'd be funny, won't it? You think Yoruba's the one that's hard, but see, the funny part is it's really his cousin Joe who never got known. No, that's not funny. And I wouldn't take that role. So, but a lot of people, you open up a goddamn suitcase in their face and it's got enough money, they'll do whatever. The setup for that was when I was young. I asked my father one time, did the FBI come into the community and do this, or CIA or something? I'm a little boy asking, what? I said, what? All my friends and all their friends know people who done it. And I'm asking my cousins who grown and they did it when they were little. We were programmed to ask this question of each other. Would you suck somebody's dick for $1 million? I'm willing to bet you, Belay, have had people ask you that question before. They've asked other people that question.
Yeah, it's become a meme at this point.
What would we do? What would we do? Sell ourselves out for money. Now, if that's your thing, would you suck men's penises because you enjoy that?
Do that.
But why does it have to do with money? Even if somebody had asked, now they've been slick if they said, would you get some coochie for $1 million? And ask me that shit when I was 6, 7, I'd be like, hell yeah.
Right.
But I'm being pushed toward, what would you do for money?
Right. It's to start planting the seed of when are you go, what would it take for you to do whatever? And then you're not even thinking about what it would take for you to do anything.
Would you suck my dick for a big red apple? So now you're just selling yourself out even more. Just for an apple, I can just get myself from the store for 10 cents back when I was little.
From what you said earlier too, like when he was saying when you're weak, it can lead to things, and when you're weak, you're not really being good. I think of it as a person who's like you see a person, and you can use the hood or even jail, but most people can't relate to that. But you see a guy that's real frail or whatever, and he gonna be polite to everybody, all the dudes in the hood, because he don't want to get hurt. You know what I'm saying? He don't want that to happen to him. But then you got everybody say the gentle giants. You see him every night, and the big dude, what he could do, and he just polite to. He don't have to be polite. That's not a strategy. He can act like he want to act, but he choose to be cool with everybody. That's strength. That's real power when you're not flexing on everybody. You can go take somebody food and money and stuff, and you don't. You protect people instead. That's real strength. Because the weak person actually can be nice. He can't protect. That's strength.
So absolutely. I just wanted to chime in. I know, Baba, you said you don't know the history of Jordan Peterson. I don't know that much of his history, and we don't have to get all off into him.
You dated him, right?
But there are, if you hear more of what he has to say, he could be considered problematic in some ways.
I figured, because
we don't.
When I look at him, and I hate to do that thing, because I always teach, what does a murderer look like? What does a rapist look like? It can look like anybody, but to me, he looks like a poster boy for white supremacists.
Let me stop. Hey, off the record, I gotta say, Bobby is very good at looking at somebody. He do it as a joke, but he's been very accurate. I have taken someone, I have showed him somebody, like, oh yeah, they crazy. Like,
I'll say this. I don't know what his true intentions are or anything like that. I know that he gets put up like that a lot. I know he gets used like that a lot, and he sort of resists, the label, and tries to make it seem like they're misusing him. But I mean,
representing him.
So I just wanted to throw that out there since we did quote him.
I like what he says about.
I don't know much about him. I like what he said there.
Right. Yes. And there.
So everybody, Gavin. What's that fool's name? Who started the Proud Boys? That idiot. He said a couple things that's quippy, and that you say, oh, okay, that's intelligent. But
right.
He's a white supremacist. Now he's a white supremacist who likes to fight. I'm trying to remember his name. I want to say his name because he's like, person say my name, I'll confront him, and I don't think he does it anymore. Because I said his name in the interview one time, hoping, because I wanted to get it on tape, me knocking his ass out. Because it's like, who are they facing? I mean, he may be willing to fight anybody. I know some cats like that. They don't care, and they know, okay, this dude gonna knock me out, but I'm gonna fight him.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that. I'm like that myself. You gotta show me. I'm not from, where's the show me state? Kentucky,
Missouri, I think.
Missouri. I'm not from Missouri, but goddamn, you gotta show me. And I've told so many people that when they talk about this, on the bus, I'm defending. And sometimes we have to be careful. We talk about dangerous men. We have to be, or dangerous women. We have to be careful. So I defended a brother he was on the bus, and he's a brother in the nation. It had nothing to do with that. I'm no longer in the nation. I hadn't been in the nation for over a decade when this happened, but they coming at him. And I was just surprised because usually brothers in the nation will stand up for themselves. They fake ass Muslim. Wearing a bow tie wearing ass, cheeseburger ass, eat that nigga, and all this kind of stuff. This dude's going off. So I'm looking at him. He's not saying nothing. He just, peacing out. And
JP.
Here comes me.
Right.
Here comes me. And this is, I had to watch this with my son too. I say, y'all don't have to talk to the man like that. It's disrespectful. He's obviously older than you. That's disrespectful. This dude, who's about 19, young dude, he says to me, Man, shut up, I'll snatch your teeth out your mouth. I said, well, I ain't got many, so you ain't got much work to do, so show me. He said, what? What? I said, so I get up. I walk down there to him on the bus. He said, show me. You're going to snatch my teeth out your mouth. And his dude's like, man, go ahead, show him, man. I said, and your boy can help you. Since he opening up his punk ass mouth, both of you all, if you can snatch my teeth out my mouth, bravo, I give you a hand. You did well. Show me though. He said, man, go on, sit down. Go on, sit down now. Now I got my children with me. So I go back to them, and this sister who's sitting there, she said, oh, I watch the babies for you. Because they tired of this dude. And so I said, well, she said she'll watch the children. So, and the bus driver said, I'll pull over and wait for a minute, and y'all can have your business. I said, that's all it's going to take. Thank you. He said, keep driving, keep driving. I said, oh, you don't really want to do nothing. I said, y'all thought he was tough, didn't you?
Exactly.
I thought he was tough. He's not. He wasn't a dangerous person at all. Anybody can do harm, but to literally be a dangerous person. He felt, though, that he was in the presence of somebody dangerous when I walked up to him. And I'm just saying, come, show me. And show me what you can do. Show me. And so he didn't want to do nothing. I said, oh, you don't want to do nothing. I said, but we're going to the same place. When I get off this bus, you're going to have to show me. You're going to have to show me when we get off this bus. When the bus stops. The bus driver, when we get to the place, she opens the door quick. The sister there says, I got the children. I got the children. I was taking the children to work with me. I got the children. The dude didn't know. I have seen him before. I know. He is 19 years old. And I'm going to hand him, so I'm going to whoop his little ass just a little bit. Just a little bit. Because he's nowhere near my skill level, but he's threatening this person with physical harm. So now, and then threaten me. So now you got to show me. We get off that bus. Just leave me alone. Leave me alone now. I said, yeah. Everybody see that? Everybody hear him, right? That was the end of his reign. The reason why I had been observing him before, he pushed one of my students down the stairs. Sent him to the hospital. Just on GP, just bullying him. Get out of my way. Pushed him down the stairs. Not like, he going nowhere. Just get out of my way. Pushed him down and dude bust his head. And so I've been watching him since. I had checked into his background. I knew his age. I knew where he lived. He just didn't know that. And when he started with that brother, I said, this is the same person. He'll end up doing something harmful to this brother too. If he don't stand. I told him, you got to stand up for yourself. What you doing? You're in the nation. Now, me and him are cool even to this day. He may be watching, as a matter of fact. I said, you got to stand up for yourself. What you doing? You're a Muslim in the Nation of Islam. So represent that shit well, because if he punks you, he ain't just punking you. They'll say the Nation of Islam got punked. We're funny that way. I'm talking about human beings. If we all out together with our EO shirts on, and I whoop somebody's ass. Oh, I got this Remix Morning Show shirt on. Bunch of us got the Remix Morning Show shirts on. Jarrett's in Atlanta. Kalanji comes, and Kamal's there. Kamal ain't coming to my class. I know that, but he ain't training. But say he have to be there, and it doctor, and we all out somewhere.
You are always invited to class, Kamal.
Yeah, Kamal, you're invited, but you're not coming to class. But anyway, so we're out, and somebody starts something. I knock that motherfucker out. They're gonna say the Remix Morning Show is whooping ass. But I go to knock him out, he blocks, knocks me out. they're gonna say the Remix Morning Show got their ass whooped. No, I got my ass whooped. How the whole radio show get their ass whooped?
At least that's what I'm gonna say when they ask me and be like, no, he got his ass. I didn't.
So, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen to me. But I ain't just out there. Believe me, I'll be a good representative for us. At least I'll fight. At least you say I fought my hardest before he knocked me out. He knocked me out. He did try his best.
What was we at, bro? You still had some more you wanted to add on before we
So yeah, so
if I could,
we see a lot of people who don't have the control it takes. You can hurt somebody, but you control yourself. We see a lot of people don't have that kind of control because they haven't had the role models. So those people can hurt you. They don't have that control. So that's not saying that those are good people for sure. They can be dangerous. Right. But they don't have the role models, coaches, or parents to teach them how to harness that energy that could harm others. This energy comes across as violent and tragic and even horrific in a lot of cases. It's our responsibility to learn how to control this ability to be aggressive and competitive and violent at times, appropriate times, right? So that we can use it in a controlled manner and use it appropriately. Then we must teach our youth and the people that we are responsible for how to harness the same, and that makes you a good person. Okay? And the beginnings of being dangerous is first, truly dangerous, is being a good person. All right. That's the beginning of it.
Now, making yourself more dangerous. Incorporating these 4 techniques into your life in order to make yourself more dangerous. 1, develop self-confidence. I can't tell you how many people I've seen who are shea butter, passive, and lack any level of confidence. And when they're faced with a violent situation, a natural disaster, or something as simple as asking for a raise or asking somebody on a date, they end up shaking like a stripper on the ice cold pole because they don't have any confidence. You have to go out and do the things that are going to make you confident. What can you actually do to be more confident? If you feel fear toward any conversation, any engagement, any action, activity, or hobby, you can develop a sense of confidence by tackling that thing, by facing it head on and getting it done. You don't need to be confident to develop confidence. What you need to do is be courageous to overcome the thing that you're afraid of. So yeah, a perfect example. I used to work for a tree service. We was all I was a part of a tree service, but I wasn't the climber. But I worked with the climber directly with the rope for like a couple years. It was 3 of us, 2 brothers and me. And after a while, the 2 brothers started doing jobs without me. And I'm the one that bought all the equipment. So I'm like, you know what I'm gonna do? Okay, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna take the equipment, I'm gonna teach myself how to. But I used to be afraid of heights. It's one thing. I was so afraid of heights. Back in the day, as a kid, I wouldn't go to the top of a stadium, like at the top of the bleachers. I wouldn't go because I was too afraid of heights. So I tried to get on the tree equipment. I climbed. I took about 4 steps up in the pine tree back of my apartment. Came down and said, "Hell no." So then, after a while, I was like, "Look, we got one more job left. This lady supposed to be paying like $1,800 if I can get up there and cut this tree down." And I got one other person. I just had to do it. I went in the back of my yard and took a couple steps. The next thing I knew, I was 50 feet up. I was scared, but I kept doing it while I was scared. It's not like the fear went away and I'm not scared no more. I'm gonna do it. I was scared the whole time and stayed scared doing the job. Levels of fear forever. It never stopped. Never stopped being afraid when I got into a tree you just leveled it off after a while, and yeah, I could deal with I manage, but it's you got to overcome it.
Well, and one thing, yeah, that's courage. Now, understanding what fear is. So fear is a signal warning you of impending great bodily harm or death. So you're going to feel that.
Right.
You should. That's a signal. And so you move based on that signal. If you don't, well, that's how people end up getting hurt, harmed, talking about I should listen to my first mind, right? Courage is overcoming that. Now, that signal that we manufacture, though, that's worry. That's destructive. We don't want that. So we don't want to worry. So I'm walking down the street, 5 people coming towards me. I get a signal. I start pumping Kool-Aid. I go across the street. I have no problem doing that because I'm listening to that signal warning me about great impending great bodily harm or death. I listen to it.
We don't have to feel like our heart pumping Kool-Aid, though, Baba. We use something else.
It may. See that you can't let that bother you because then your ego gets in the way, and now,
damn it.
Now you're not. If you don't listen to that signal and you walk right through them, you can wake up in the hospital and say, "God damn!"
Or worse.
Right.
All right. I accept that your heart.
You don't have a problem with that. I've been training for 50 years. I'm not trying to get into a violent encounter with motherfuckers.
Yeah, bro.
So if I feel that feeling, something is off. If it's one person walking, I'm going to move or give them a wide berth. I got no problem with that.
Yeah. I can't stand people talk about
because if I give them a wide berth and then they turn back towards me, now they're gonna learn that they should listen to their first mind. But I want to move peacefully, right? I don't want smoke. I don't want it. When I say I'm the lamb, that's really what I mean by the lamb. I don't want smoke. I tell people I loathe violence. I'm not a violent person, but I'm good at it. I'm excellent at committing violence and stopping violence from harming me and those I love. I'm really good at that. But I hate having to do it. I hate the fact that it exists in my space, but it exists in my space. That's the way it is. I used to hate the fact that I have this skill, to be honest with you. I used to hate it. I'm watching my friends hang out, and they just ignorant as shit. Even some of my students just hanging out, don't realize the danger that they in. Just, it's nasty as shit, and it's danger right there.
Yeah, the Cabbage Patch.
Doing all kinds of shit. In the corner. And they about to Cabbage Patch right over there, and that cabbage about to get cooked. I'm like, damn, you don't see that?
They don't see this.
Steak right into a knuckle sandwich. Like, damn. So I used to be like, man, I want to be able to just enjoy and snake into a knuckle sandwich. I want to be able it's 30 of us just doing this old stupid rocky racket, right? And I don't realize how dangerous shit is around me.
I just see your friends crossing the street with traffic flags. They don't give a shit.
And sometimes the car get their ass off. Hey,
I'm sorry.
I mean, I had something to add, and I completely forgot.
No, I just want to say though, on a serious tip, I think one of the biggest things that it's a pet peeve to me. I cannot stand to see people say, and all these memes about being fearless. Be fearless. Be fearless. Be fearless. Like the most ignorant, psychotic. They don't realize how crazy they sound. What do you want me to do?
People posting that full of shit.
Yeah, just
they're not fearless.
Fearless.
So Ogun, people say Ogun is fearless. Shango is courageous, Ogun is fearless. I don't know. In my studies, I haven't encountered any Odu that supports that. But because if that Orisha has that, then there's a person that's fearless. Okay. The only people I've seen who seem to be completely fearless are people who have mental trauma, to be honest. Like people, if 200 people are rushing towards you with baseball bats and you rush at them, you have some issues there. And that's not intelligence. I would not want you fighting beside me because you're not a dangerous person. You're a dangerous person.
Yeah.
You're not dangerous, but you are dangerous to me. You're dangerous to the people around you because you are unsafe. And a lot of times we think being dangerous is being unsafe.
You know, Bob, maybe it means to be, so say, like you were saying, you identify the fear. Okay, this person is aggressing me. I identified the fear, right? And so you and I feel that my heart pumping, but then it pops off. You know what I'm saying? He tried to rob me or whatever. Now I'm in it and I'm fully committed. Maybe that's what the fearlessness is in that. For that one moment.
But that's not fearless. So you can't feel two emotions at one time.
That's what I'm getting at. That's why I'm saying.
So it's not fearlessness because after you're done, now you. So it's not just that, and that's how you overcome fear. Just so you all know, you always replace that with another emotion. Sometimes you got to fake. So some people who are not skilled in that manner, and let me say this: when I said I used to hate the skill that I have, I've long embraced what I am. Okay, but a lot of people they're scared as hell of somebody. You'll see them, just get mad, and we laugh at white folks do it all the time. You want some of me, buddy? You want some of me, buddy? He's scared as shit of you.
Thank you, Bob, for mentioning.
But he's replacing that. But we laugh. We do the same thing. We just want, we black folk. We're going to be cooler than that.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
But we're doing the same. Want some of me, buddy, but just in a different way. So when the dude said, I snatch your teeth out your mouth, I came to him and said, well, show me. Man, you better go and sit down. You better go. See, he's trying to replace it with something else.
Mm-hmm.
Before you start, Amaniki, I just want to mention very quickly, this is supposed to be kind of part of the news. This is my personal thing. I see this video going around of these black dudes. This white dude was like, come on, I'm ready. And the two black dudes like, man, go ahead. They opened up his car door, said, man, go ahead, man, get out of here, man. We're gonna save your life, man. We're gonna save your life. Go ahead and go. And everybody applauding the black dudes and saying, that's real, brother. That's how you're supposed to handle it. You don't have to resort to violence, and that's real strength and blah, blah, blah. I just want to say for the people who know what I'm talking about, yes, in a way this is what I think personally. I think those same two brothers would have beat down anybody that looked like them and put it on video. But because it was a white man, they were afraid. And I think they hid their fear and replaced it with, oh, come on, man, get on out of here.
Being the bigger person.
We're going to spare you. No, you ain't going to touch no white man on camera. That's what you're not going to do. And that's what I saw. I just want to say that to whoever saw that video, because it just eats at me that they tried to act like they were so sparing his life. I'm sorry. So anyway.
People do that too. That's saving face. Right?
Yeah, boy.
Now me, I will try to save face for other people, even if I gotta smack them around.
Right. I got what you mean. I know what you mean.
Unless it's got to a point where it goes a little further than that. But if I gotta grab you and smack you up because you've been inappropriate, right? Or doing something, whatever. I try to say, or before it even gets to that point, dude wanted to fight me will spar with me, we don't think in terms of sparring over here. So we think in terms of, well, we don't think in terms of sparring, okay? As we talking, I said, this brother, young Spryer than me. At the time, I was only 29, 30. Younger Spryer, he was about 25. And I was in top shape, but, try to save face. I know what I do to him. I mean, I know this person. I know what I'm doing to him. But he was feeling himself, I guess. So he said, everybody used to call me Saphir. He said, Saphir know what I do to him. Saphir know. I said, okay, well, since my student doesn't know, I guess show him the beat down you're going to give me. Mm-hmm. And we got together and I ran roughshod over him. Okay. I was trying to save face for him. But some people, when you do that, there's a saying, to be kind to your enemies, to be cruel to yourself. People will take advantage of that. They will feel themselves. Their ego gets the ass whooped all the time. And their ego gets in place and they forget that I done seen this dude put in work and I can't put in that level of work. But he made the statement that, I'm more young. I'm younger than him. I'm quicker. And I am. So, you know what I do to him. So I said, well, my student really doesn't believe it. So show him, show that ass what you're going to give me. And brother, I embarrassed him at his house in front of his wife. I asked her to please leave. Even then, I said, please leave because I don't want, you to see me get beat up like this. He goes, stay, baby, so you can watch your husband work. Watch daddy work is what he said. Watch daddy work. Daddy became her baby after I fucked him up. Excuse me, y'all. Baby, okay? Now he ain't daddy no more. Now he baby. Because he shit himself like a baby. People just be talking. I'm this. God damn it, you better train hard to back up what you say. You better train hard because there are people who will challenge you on that.
No,
there are people who are truly dangerous.
I tell you all the time about my friend. I tell you all the time about my friend. I have to warn about his fake 8. And that's the lesson to a lot of people. He's from New York. So he lied a lot of his. And what the fuck you over here doing? Son? What the fuck? He's always like that but it's fake. That's just how he talk. Yo, son, if you gonna be fucking over, put your shit on the fucking. Hey, and when I fucking go, like that's just how he talk to everybody. So people meet the first time, be like, hey, yo, what's up with your man, bro? Like. People be about to do stuff to him all the time, and he has his awareness is low. He talk like that, and his awareness is low. So he don't read the room. I've had friends be like, yo, I had to tell my man that we cool because he heard you talking to me like that, and he came up behind you and was about to start choking you out, my nigga. Like, I had to tell him, no, he cool. Like, that's happened. You know what I'm saying? Like, I tell him all the time, he just told me another story, like, my mechanic had to tell his friend that, I talk like that. I was like, bro, you better learn to chill the fuck out instead of having everybody explain shit for you because that ain't gonna always happen.
Right.
It's wherever you're from, you got to be careful. I was on the bus, dude talking. I'm sorry to let you get to it, Omaniki, because I know you got to leave early. But I'm on the bus, and I don't know why this brother was going on. We're in Atlanta. He's from Chicago too. I found that out because he started saying, Chicago. He's talking loud as hell on the bus to nobody in particular. In Chicago, we don't eat grits. Like, what the hell is a grit? Why y'all country niggas eating grits? I said, and I'm reading the book. And when he said Chicago, I looked up and I looked right back at my book. Because I'm like, dude, don't realize we in Atlanta, fool. So he kept on talking. And then one dude said, you say another. This was crazy. It seems crazy, but he felt disrespected. He said, "You say another goddamn thing about grits, and I'm gonna beat your ass." And that set off a bunch of people. Said, "Yeah, we'll fuck you up, so and so, short. You talking about grits, shorty?" It seemed to be about grits.
It wasn't about the grits.
It was his disrespect of people from there.
Right.
And I'm just, I would have been like, "Damn, they beating the shit out of him." And he said, "Anybody here from Chicago know what I'm talking about?" Like, I ain't saying shit. Today, I ain't from Chicago, partner.
Whoa.
I'm glad he didn't know me. Ain't you from Chicago? I'm like, dude, I've never been in Chicago. It's moved here from Liverpool. I'd be like, "Man, please. The hell no, I'm from Chicago."
We was talking about entertainers and we offended Amaniki talking about, what was it, Barbara Streisand or something? You got offended?
Oh, get out of here.
Real quick, I eat grits with salt and pepper. Big Till said no butter. You know damn well, Big Till, that Holly is eating at the Exalted Empress is putting butter on that or some kind of oil. You cannot.
As long as y'all ain't talking about sugar, because you gonna get the hell from out the South talking about sugar.
Grits and gravy.
Nobody said sugar. I was gonna. They get removed from here.
Yeah.
Grits and gravy.
Do not.
Grits and gravy. That's it right there.
My space that put sugar in their grits is my daughter, Yay Me, because I love her. That's my baby. She put sugar. I don't know where she got that from. Because her mama is from here, and she do not put sugar in her grits.
I ain't trying to be funny. If Jamie need help from me from now on, I can't do that.
I think I heard y'all gonna say, "Yeah, I sure don't." I eat the pig too. Sorry.
Ooh.
You still? So I know you putting some kind of butter or something in your grits.
Who is that? Big Till?
No, Big Till ain't eating no.
I was about to say.
Big Till been in warrior class too long. She ain't eating no pig. Holly, the Exalted Empress. Let's mark this date. This is April 29th. By July 29th, Holly ain't gonna be eating grits no more either. I mean, pig no more either. Watch.
This is I didn't realize it was April 29th. It's the 19th anniversary of the riots. The LA riots.
Is it?
Yeah. It was 94, right?
Shrimp and grits. Shrimp and grits. Oh my God, my wife eats that so much. I was like, "Oh no."
We're so off topic right now. Can we?
Right. Okay.
Yeah, let's get back.
Develop assertiveness.
That got me hungry too. But anyway.
Yes, let's go.
The next 4 points.
What really got me hungry, the pig. I want me a pig.
Yeah, Baba. These next 4 points will certainly help you develop more confidence. There are 4 communication styles that I want to point out. Passive communication. The passive communicator is weak. They don't share their ideas, and the rare times when they do share an idea, they make excuses or apologize for those ideas. Very rarely are they taken seriously. Passive aggressive communication. The passive aggressive communicator tries to pretend they are passive or good in some way, but they are actually a very aggressive individual. They're just good at disguising it. This is the individual who can't take anything seriously. They've got a joke for everything. They're sarcastic, they undermine, they mock, they ridicule, they put others down, but they do it in a sly way. They give underhanded comments and compliments. This is the passive aggressive communicator. They may be funny for a short period of time, but it becomes extremely exhausting dealing with these individuals because they don't know how to deal with difficult or awkward or uncomfortable conversations. And so they make light of everything and they mock everything. That's a passive aggressive communicator. Now, the aggressive communication style. An aggressive communicator wants to railroad everybody. It's a type of personality who doesn't take no for an answer, who isn't willing to communicate with others or take other things into consideration. People don't like these type of individuals, so they don't make great leaders. Assertive communication. What you and all of us should be working toward is being assertive in your communication. You're willing to take on new ideas and new perspectives, excuse me, and you're taking other people's thoughts, ideas, and feelings into consideration. But you have a very clear idea of what you want. You're willing to and capable of sharing your ideas with other folk. When you see that there's a problem, you don't push it off on somebody else. Try to be assertive in all of your dealings and interactions. I know we were off of grits, but I just want to say the first time that I had fish and grits, I was in the Bronx, New York.
I had fish and grits in the Bronx too. Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I had fish and grits.
I just wanted to assert that real fast.
You had fish and grits with a girl from the Bronx, Belay?
No, I said in Harlem at Sylvia's.
Oh, yeah. Now
my uncle made it
at Sylvia's. I want to say my wife had fish and grits. I'm not positive.
Fat Joe was there.
I remember. Oh no. See, my wife, right? She said I had short ribs. Okay, because I was about to say I think I had it too or something. Because I said, damn, maybe I had the fish and grits because I said
you're all hungry right
I'm
now.
not doing beef. I said this is it. I said, damn, I gave up beef and I didn't get no burger. Oh boy, I used to eat burgers every day, y'all. And that was real.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I had the heart attack, I talked to Kalanya. I said, brother, I had a heart attack. He said, man, shit. He said, we gotta work on what's going on. We gotta, get you back to your health. He said, but first thing, you gotta stop eating them goddamn hamburgers. And when he said, because man, we want you to be here. You gotta leave eating hamburgers every day. You gotta leave it alone. And I tell you, because I started crying. I started crying, facing the reality that I can't eat burgers every day. I was fucked up, y'all. I'm telling you.
That was some good advice from Kalanja.
I'm glad I didn't see you crying over a damn burgers.
I cried, and it wasn't just, so I couldn't just a burger. I think I said before I had something with, it had to have heavy tomato on it. A little bit of onion, but heavy tomato. And I cried at the idea that I couldn't do that every day. Not just couldn't do it, I couldn't do it every day. That hurt me. That hurt me, man.
Wow.
They just said, "Oh, poor bottle of gold." I was a gone dude. I always said it must have been like part of PTSD or something, because why was I just so into hamburgers? My wife, we were talking about that before. She said, she'd be like, "Nah, again, you get burgers again." I would say, "No, I'm not eating no burgers." I would get it and then hide the package from her, all kinds of shit, man.
There's a lot of people dealing with food addictions. Really, all of us. I would say certainly in America.
Yes.
Food addiction is real, and it's not something that many of us have come to grips with, and it's not something that you hear talked about a lot.
And I'm gonna tell you something.
Yeah, I'm supposed to say the Burgermeister. Exactly.
No, but when she said, I was laughing at you until she said that, and then I had to think about, especially when you're a routine person, it can be really easy to be addicted to it. Any like those little things, crunchy little old things. Like ever since I let you, I bought the first bag. She remembered when I called her about it and bought the first bag. I ain't run out but like twice.
Wow.
Where I've kept a bag, and if I'll keep it and won't eat anymore until I get some more. Like I had to say, okay, I'm getting crazy. I had to stop eating for a minute because I have that. You got to know yourself. Right. I got that addictive personality. I don't know if that's a thing or whatever, but I know I like repetition. Like I eat a grapefruit every day now since Amaniki said, hey, you should try this grapefruit. I eat a grapefruit every morning now.
I was like, I don't know if y'all, I know y'all watch Snowfall, but if y'all watch Snowfall, I was like goddamn Franklin Saint in the last episode with burgers. That's how I was.
Let's go. Let's keep going.
So, be an effective communicator, okay? You need to learn how to communicate effectively with others. So if you're negotiating a raise or proposing to your significant other, if you're disciplining your children or engaging with a would-be attacker, then you need to be able to communicate effectively to produce the outcome that you're after.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times with our children, we fail because we get so emotional. And they can say one thing and it just sets us off. Right?
Thank you for saying that.
We're hyper emotional. We're hyper emotional with them. I mean, I've been there. Like, who are you talking to? You know, with it's time to be intelligent with it. I remember our son. We were at dinner. He said, "You know, I don't know if I really believe in God." And my wife was about to snap. I said, "Dear, let me handle it, please." And so I had an intelligent discourse with him. And now that isn't our, I mean, now he's initiated to Ifa now, right?
Yeah, well.
So it's a matter of communicating. What did he mean? You know, why? Why do you feel this way? What did he mean? You know, so we have to get to things without, because they can't drive us nuts now.
I think a lot of that comes from too, you know, the way we were parented. You know, that particularly that who you talking to, you know, type of thing. Like I feel like our parents were coming from a different place. At least my parents. I think our parents are from different generations. Mm-hmm. But I would say just our people up to a certain point were always just in survival mode. You know what I'm saying? Coming out of certain situations. So I don't know. I just think it was easier to be more emotional or to react a certain way to disrespect. Whereas we're in a kind of a different position now to be able to deal with our children a little bit differently, not beating on them all the time, even though, you know, we all survived that. But there's different ways that we can deal with our children now. That's my opinion.
Do you feel sometime a child need to get tapped up?
I think it depends on the child. You know, I think there are some children where that's an effective way of disciplining them. But I think
let's bring it home. Do you think sometimes Cairo need to be tapped up?
I think he does now.
Is that because he needs to be
just that but he's so much bigger than me now.
Well, you know, now I just like, man, get that man a
right, exactly. Just but that's why, you know, come to class, he gets his weekly, you know, and he gets his weekly tune up and then he's good.
Yeah, you know, for our day, I mean, y'all were there when he was being disrespectful.
Yeah, but
and he had been being disrespectful all day, and you know, I think about it a lot because he needed it, but I shouldn't have done it because I got too much power over him. You know, power, physical power.
Right.
And there was no way, and I don't want to traumatize him because he was scared of shit.
I gotta say, y'all, I'm sorry, I gotta say something. When Baba was talking to Ade, he was talking to Ade like you talk to your son that's been disrespectful, right? So the shit felt, because you Baba talked like he's the instructor, he's the master instructor. It's not a certain emotion isn't present when he's telling you something. And when he was talking to Ade like a father, I felt like my father was sonning me.
Yeah,
I couldn't even look at Baba. I was like, I couldn't even look up. Goddamn, I was afraid. That was the funniest shit. Lord, that was funny. I'm sorry. It ain't funny. It's funny now. It wasn't funny then, but it was funny now.
Right.
So, you know, and he's been good since.
Right.
You know?
He's great. Ade's like, fuck that.
You know, we had the benefit of being, and I've said that before, and for me in my life, of being in martial art class where, okay, well, get on the mat.
Right.
When I bristled up with my father, come on, goddamn, come on. Okay, I'm on my way. My shit immediately. I wasn't going to do it,
We live
my
a life
mother just don't come. That boy being foolish. And then, when we said, your father's not coming, I didn't care. He could have came. Shit, I was so glad my father didn't come. Boy.
Listen, hey, oh my goodness, boy. We learn one way or the other. That's all. Just makes you the way we live. This I can't speak for other martial arts, but like you say, the mat. You can't front. You can't front to a certain extent in the life we live, because the mat is the truth.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna get to this so Ominiki can do a part. She gotta go soon. So if you can't show exactly what you're all about and exactly what you're after, then you're probably not going to achieve your objective. Okay. So make sure you can articulate what you want, show it if you can't really articulate it. Okay. And what you're all about, show that in the way you move, the way you speak, then you'll get what it is that you're after. If you become a better communicator, you are naturally going to develop more confidence. That's key to being dangerous. And when we say dangerous, we're talking about somebody potentially can cause harm. But the reason why when Big Till asked what is ethics involved has to be because you can cause harm in an appropriate way. There's plenty of people who can cause harm. Every human being can.
Right.
But what makes a person dangerous is they making the move. And when I say dangerous, you're a danger to the state. You're a danger to people that's on some bullshit. You're a danger. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's you know when to move appropriately.
Right.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
A lot of times when you try to research dangerous people, they're talking about like rapists and all of that. That's a person who's a harmful person.
Right.
Right.
They're not dangerous to any powers that be. Okay.
Yeah,
You can be dangerous to them though. All right.
All right. And also educate yourself. You have to educate yourself. Knowledge alone is not enough. You can't read a book and assume that because you read it, that somehow you'll be able to apply it effectively in your life. You've got to know some sort of harder skills like martial arts, like firearms training, like situational awareness. And you must be politically educated and able to provide clear analysis. Finally, you must be able to motivate others to action and inspire them to do things they were too afraid or too short-sighted to do before.
Yeah, boss.
B-Lay, can you close us out with that? I'll be right back.
Yes, sir. So, dangerous times call for dangerous people. Dangerousness comes from learning to be courageous, embracing the risks of speaking out about violence and brutality, standing up for justice, fighting for those weaker than you, for the oppressed and marginalized, and embracing and engaging fully with them, learning and connecting and connections that come from being an internal student and a consummate teacher. So that's what makes us dangerous, the ability to speak out, to stand up,
right,
to
lead, inspire others, absolutely,
right, to inspire, to not cower in
and
situations.
To analyze things for ourselves. It's something that I mentioned. I am going to sign off in just a second, but I just wanted to circle back to the thing about Jordan Peterson, since we started off with quoting something from him. But I mentioned this in the chat because one of I think it was a newer person, said something like, don't listen to the gossip about Jordan Peterson.
I saw that.
And I said, you know, I don't listen to gossip. I'm not really privy to all that stuff. I'm not every day looking at these things and seeing what the lowdown is on this person or that person all the time.
Right.
I look at
if you use the word lowdown should tell you guys something.
Right, exactly. Exactly. So, but you know, I can listen to lectures and things that people put out there. And I have heard many things from him that seemed interesting. And I was like, you know, that seems right. But when you look at the context that he's putting things in, you can see very easily the implications. If you can extrapolate like what would happen on out based on some of the things that he says. So that's why I feel like he's saying that he's being misused by, you know, whatever whatever you want to call them, white supremacists or whatever. But I feel like, you know, it's kind of like a crazy like a fox type of thing. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I just want to say peace and love to the family. Thank you so much for tuning in. I apologize. I gotta head out. And peace and love to my fellow hosts. And I'll see y'all soon.
Be safe.
All right, be safe.
Stay dangerous.
Absolutely. You too. All right. Peace.
All right. Peace. So, you know, try to be dangerous. Be dangerous. Not try to be. You know, understand what it means. And understand what it means for you. Okay. People out here can be harmful.
I need you to take the chair downstairs.
So make sure that they know. Make sure that they know that to harm you and yours, that comes with a cost. That's what being a dangerous person is. You know, people want to harm you and yours. It comes with a cost. It's not a free ticket to just do harm to y'all.
Right. You know? You ain't a good person. If the news people run to give you the mic to tell your version of what happened, you're probably not dangerous.
Probably not.
You probably not. They'd be like, no, don't let them motherfucker right there say.
I remember when I was in high school, my social studies teacher asked me, she said, "You're in the Nation of Islam?" I wasn't at it. She said, "No." I said, "No." She said, "You will be." I'm thinking to myself, man, please, because at that time,
that was dangerous.
Well, for me, I felt all religions had made us weak.
Right.
Had kept us weak. And I felt that there was going to be a race war. I think I've mentioned this before. I don't feel that now, but I felt there was going to be a massive race war. And if there was a race war in America right now, we would lose. Because our numbers, with 13% in the United States, I believe, we can't handle that large disparity of numbers.
But what about all the white people that would help us and be on our side? I'm sorry, but I just want to see you.
So for me, I think,
I'm sorry.
You know, I used to believe that. Now, you know, I do not at all. But so I rejected religion, you know, in my life completely. Religion, I think I was still spiritual because I've always been African, but religious, nah, man. And I had posters on my wall that very anti-religious. You know, when I was at Howard, oh man, I had so many posters, and I would debate people. I had people, you know, who were getting their degrees in theology or whatever, and we debate. I never felt that they could stand on nothing strong. It was later that I met some Christians who could really throw down. But back then, none of them were dangerous.
I'm glad you mentioned, but I want to, I'm sorry. about the show. I meant to ask you this early because you got the show is going to be called. What is it going to be called again?
African Spiritual Resistance.
This is the question I have for you. Are you going to show? And if you didn't think about this, I'm going to ask or maybe request in some sort of form.
Mm-hmm.
Are y'all going to show like actual divination, like live, perhaps?
No, because divination is very private for the person.
Yes, I forget. It's
so the person you're divining for,
right?
You all kinds of things are being shared with you, so you can't.
Yeah. Dang.
But now we may show the practice. I may have my wife do it to me, or that'd be on a later episode where she divine on warrior class or something like that.
Yeah. So just something to show how it's done.
We may do that. And we may both do something similar where she does it with either the 16 calories. So divination tools that we use, 16 calories. I'm trained on it. Don't use it. Most men don't, to be honest with you. If there are men using that and they're initiated to 2E52, that's kind of looked at as being shea butter like a mug. But anyway, so you got 16 calories. You have the divining chain, which we call Okpele. Okay. And then you have the Ikin, which is we have actually more than that. We have the cola nuts. You're throwing 2 cola nuts. Okay. And that just gives you yes and no answers. And then you have Ikin, which is pounded, 16 Ikin pounded. Okay. That's the highest level, but that I won't see that because if I did that kind of divination, the work that needs to take place has to take place immediately.
Oh yeah.
So that I won't do, but may do Okpele or Okpele. I'm not going to do 16 calories. My wife would probably do it if she did that.
I'm always trying to tell our folks about divination and to go get divination if you can find yourself. If you know somebody that's in the Ifa, you find yourself that they have a Babalawo that they go to. It's a good experience. If you get your horoscope read or something like that, which ain't even half a quarter or an inch of what this is, or its ability to describe and give you information is so much more than horoscopes. And I know our people love horoscopes, which I do. I'm into, hey, Black horoscope book. I got one.
Tell you, some people just say things because in this conjecture. But what I will say is this: some people will just say the computer is based off of the Ifa divination system. I'm not going to say that, but I will say the divination system, unlike astrology. Unlike astrology, the divination system is a binary system of 1s and 2s. The computer is a binary system of 0s and 1s. There are 256 Odu.
Thank you.
Which are the patterns of life. And there are 256 patterns of light in the computer. Yeah. It goes further than that.
Ben Carson talking about this right now. That they found out that's what the ether is made out of. And that's the same thing that they use for Google. I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, yeah. And Africa's had it since a million years. And y'all Ben, I got a post. I'm gonna post it. You talking about it right now, Bob. That's crazy.
Big Till says, show what is appropriate. Exactly.
What was that about?
About just showing as far as divination and things like that. Yep. I did my candles today. Cool. Excellent.
George Jackson was right.
George Jackson was right about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him and
his brother Johnny Jackson was right too. And if you don't know, look up George Jackson and John Jackson, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
So it was a lot of our scholars at that time, Dr. Neely Fuller, but
well,
yes.
George Jackson, that's that's the dragon.
Stay dangerous. August is coming.
And he was dangerous.
August is
So
coming.
was his brother. But look him up, and
and that's how we got to be, man. We can't be. Man, I don't even want to get into
Johnny Jackson. Yeah, rest in power, Johnny Jackson. Yes.
We could keep talking on this type of topic right here, man.
I started to give a list of
dangerous mofos,
dangerous people, but
yeah,
you be dangerous in your way. But and really, some of those people, I'm like, damn. I just wish. I wish I was close. When I idolize a person who I know personally, I don't really say idolize. I love him. Yeah, I'll say idolize. If I had an idol, I really don't, but if I had an idol, it would be Dhoruba bin Wahad. And I've always said it. Have no problem saying it. It's fun, but I know him. You know what I mean? It's crazy. But the work that he put in, and others, for me, I would say the members of the BLA that I know, that a lot of respect for, and if we had any type of movie for our youth and for ourselves, it should be something on the BLA. If I had $10 million, I could put $2 million into a film, it would be on the BLA. Those are dangerous people. I didn't say were. Those are dangerous people. And people I'm happy I'm on the same side of the barricade with. That's all I'll say on that. But let's remember who these people are, because a lot of times we forget. And when we doing our critical analysis, we think because we read a book that puts us in a position where we even had a right to. Now we got the right to. And next week I know what topic we're doing, but after that, let's do a thing on and show it through martial technique. Let's do a thing on criticism versus critique, because there is a difference. There's a difference between criticism and critique, and because we don't know the difference, we're doing the one that we should not do, particularly when it's people who earned a certain thing. You can say what you want to outside of that field, but within that field or within a life they've lived and you have it, man, sometimes just shut the fuck up. and I don't care what people feel. You can say whatever you want to say. This is how I feel. You got people who were on the ground putting in certain work when your ass was a baby or wasn't even alive. And because you done read 10 books, you done watched the video, you can just say whatever the fuck you want to say. Man, shut your ass up. You sound like a fool. When this person earned the shit on the ground through blood, sweat, tears, in the mud, blood, and shit. When you was shitting on yourself and getting your diaper changed by your mama, shut your ass up. That's for real. But most people ain't gonna say it. Most people don't want to say it to these motherfuckers, but I say it. I'll say it. Dhoruba is not beyond reproach, but damn, in the field that he's talking about, the life he lived with certain people, and he know what he's talking about. and you got so much to say because you in a class. Sit your ass up. Damn. You making yourself look bad. Don't even know it. You think you have an intelligent analysis, but you sound like a goddamn fool because right from the beginning, you're talking about somebody who knows what they're talking about. Mao said, no participation, no right to observation. Shut your ass up. Damn.
Hey, it's like the young European dude at the on the set telling me how they dressed in the 90s in high school in the hood. And I'm saying, how the fuck is you telling me that they didn't wear this? And I had this on in the hood in the 90s. I had this shirt came from there.
You know, one time Ade was like, you know, old folk, he said, Daddy, you know, you old, you can't tell me what, you know, what the drip is. I said, the clothes you wearing, you know, them motherfuckers who made that older than me.
Right. They dictating
Dude,
what you
about,
like.
We don't know style, and you get your style from old cats.
They're dictating your style.
Right.
People that you would see and not call them cool.
Right. Your old corny white mug. That old corny white mug is giving you your clothing style.
He's giving you your whole fresh. He designed it.
When he was, you know, the skinny jeans and stuff. So y'all don't do the skinny jeans. We're in the car. I said, Akin Bobola. He's from England. I said, when you were in England, were y'all wearing baggy pants? He said, no, we were wearing skinny jeans. Akin Bobola looking. I said, yeah, before you were born, son. And then when Akin Bobola moved here, when he came to my door, he had on skinny jeans.
Show him the album cover of the Ohio Players.
Right. Exactly.
Anyway. Oh, man.
Most people during that days, you know, first of all, it's a great line, but LL was wrong when he said, you know, Jerry curl suckers wearing high heel boots. They were not high heel boots. They were high boots. They went up. They were thigh high. They weren't high heel. You know, they weren't wearing high heels in those days. And really, I felt he was getting after what do you call him? Grandmaster Flash and Furious 5, because they used to straight dress like that.
Yes, they did.
A lot of rappers in those days were dressing like that, talking hard as hell. But they really, in their mind, they wanted to be like Ohio Players and different.
That's what they saw
on stage. The Whispers and
that's what they saw.
Right, that's who they saw. Right, Parliament Funkadelic was, they wanted to dress like them. Now none of them put on the diaper. If any rapper had put on the diaper, he wouldn't have got my. I can't say he wouldn't have got my respect if his lyrics were dope.
Old Dirty could have did it. He could have pulled it off.
Old Dirty would have done something like that
on stage. I could see that all day.
Yeah, I could see him doing that. Old Dirty would have been the Gary Scheider of Wu-Tang Clan. Gary, wearing the diaper and had the pacifier in his mouth, but goddamn, he would kill. One of my favorite songs, Cosmic Slop. He's the one singing that, and so dope with it. If y'all watch the Cosmic Slop video, he's so dope, but you don't even notice he got on a diaper when he's singing, he's killing it, and then playing the guitar, and I hear my mother call. And you should hear your mother call. You got a diaper on, fool.
I didn't know.
I'm
now
sure.
Call me lame, but I didn't know that I was looking at the Earth, Wind and Fire interview when they were saying that they do all the voices, just them two. They did all the voices that recorded from the high to the lows, huh?
You talking about who did? Maurice White and his brother, or
yeah?
Oh no, Philip Bailey and Maurice White.
Philip Bailey and Maurice White. They did.
Yeah, of course. Yes.
And they said when they perform live, then they get other people to do it. But recording, they did all the voice. I didn't know that. All the voice. I didn't know that, man. That's wild.
When you hear that, it's a deeper. It's like Maurice White. He would sound like he was screaming his words without screaming. He was cold.
Crazy.
And then Philip Bailey, you know, that high, you know, the iconic Earth, Wind, and Fire song "Reasons." That's all Philip.
I'm gonna tell you this, Bob. I think one of the most dangerous people that ever walked this earth for us. I just don't know all their politics, but I know their business politics and stuff. Was Michael Jackson? I think he's one of the most dangerous people. I would say. Now, I'm gonna take this as he's the only black man I've ever seen as a kid. This was a kid when I seen this that made grown white men faint. I never seen no to this day.
I have. I've seen a man walk through, and I'm gonna tell you who it is. Walk through the crowd, and grown black men, white men, black women, and white women are fainting their asses off. I did. I refuse to faint for any of the goddamn singer or really, but Luther Vandross.
Oh, wow, I never seen that.
I have been to, I think 11. I know at least 10 because I was counting. Then I stopped counting. 11 or 12 Luther Vandross concerts. Okay. Whenever he would come to Chicago, I was either there in the audience or I was backstage doing executive protection. And he would walk through without saying anything. He just walked through. And sometimes, you know, I would walk him through, me and two other people walk him through the crowd, and I'm watching people fainting.
Yo, I will never forget. I was looking at the Europe tour.
Somebody said Castro was dangerous. Yes.
I'm in Kentucky Fried Chicken at about 12 years old. I'll never forget it in the hood. And they had the Michael Jackson concert on in Europe. And I seen, when he came out stage, I seen them grown white men getting pulled out in the ambulance, getting pulled by all four people hauling them up. I said, yo, this is the most powerful Negro. I've never seen nothing like this. This is the most powerful. Like, he is.
I'm gonna tell you, I almost fainted at the concert, at the Luther concert. When seriously, when Alicia Fisher sung, and she sung, because I was like, why are people like this? And as she's singing, I'm like, getting all lightheaded. Oh, I'm swooning and shit. I said, oh, I understand. When she's doing I think it's How Can I Ease the Pain? Oh my God.
Listen.
And the lights on her, and that song, which is normally 4 minutes, she sung it for 20, and I am swooning. And so I put it down. This because I was, you know, working so long, getting them in and out, you know, from the airport to the hotel, then out to the venue. And so I'm doing executive protection for Luther, right? But I had to move backstage because people gonna see me faint. I was like, oh. So I said, well, I was standing too long, but really I was fine until she sung. Then I'm like, oh.
When I saw Erykah Badu in the cat suit, I like to faint. She ain't say that. I saw Erykah Badu. She had on a bodysuit, a black cat suit. I got light hair. All right, y'all.
Now I'll say this last thing. I was doing executive protection. Executive protection, dangerous. It could be dangerous. I was doing executive protection for Beyonce, and I don't normally work with her. She was at Club Vision, so with now I didn't swoon or nothing, but I was like, wow, because she seemed so made up. It wasn't attractive to me, but when I saw her in person, I was like, wow, okay.
It's real. It's real.
They spend a lot of money on themselves, and that pays off in person. Yes. I was like, whoa, okay. You know, I understand why they get their toes broken and straightened and all that shit. I would, well, you know, I got nice feet. I ain't got to get them broken like that. But I understand why people would do that, get their toes broken, and because it looks really nice. Yeah. It may hurt like a motherfucker while they walking. I don't know, but it looks nice.
They don't. No. They see.
All I want to say is that they don't really care about us. Boom. Exactly. Now that I always say about, and I've worked with many stars and they do not. They really don't. Even those who act like they do.
Except for Michael Jackson, because he wouldn't have wrote the song. If he
I always tell people there are actors out here that you would think love you. I went to LA. A certain person pulls me and come here with me. Okay. And we're talking. I gave him this manuscript. So what do you think of this manuscript? He said, do you want the real? Now, me and him were cool. That's why I won't say who it is. He said, do you want the real answer or do you want the Hollywood answer? I said, I want the real answer. He said, this is great, but this needs to take place. This, you need to put this in, take this, if you're going to sell it here in Hollywood. Okay. He said, then I'd be interested in it. He said, other than that, I'm not interested in it if you don't put this in, this specific thing you want. I said, okay, cool. I said, now give me the Hollywood version. So they'd be like, man, you got a blockbuster hit. His whole thing changed. And you feel so good. You got a blockbuster here. This lets me know that can you just, we do a deal now to make sure you don't get this to nobody else? So he got you feeling good as hell. But his mind, he already know. No, it needs this, it needs this, it needs this. And if it don't have that, fuck your screenplay. Right? That's how it is. Change the screenplay. He personally took it to Ludacris. I tell you that. And Ludacris was like, I'm already working on something like it. And so me and, well, my partner who we co-wrote it, he gave it to this, the person said he gave it to Ludacris. His person gave it to Ludacris. Said, Ludacris was like, I'm working on something just like it. So that other author, Milton Davis, just so you know, said, if we see our shit come out, something similar to our shit, well, we'll be suing the bejesus out of him.
Just so y'all know, that turned out to be the John Henry.
No, that was not. What I was going to say is, when John Henry came out, Milton said, if that's the shit he's talking about, there ain't nothing like our job.
Oh my God,
nothing.
Garbage.
Like,
sorry.
So no, I wouldn't write nothing. They even came close. If you've seen his John Henry movie, even came close to nothing like that. That was terrible. Even him having a fake jaw. Ludacris had a fake, was it bronze jaw? It was awful.
He had fake sideburns, go like metallic sideburns. I don't know what the fuck was going on.
That was actually supposed to be his jaw.
Look here, y'all. Stay dangerous.
Yeah, stay dangerous.
Everybody,
John Henry wasn't.
On the serious tip, especially our chat now, we're gonna have something for the chat coming up. Show our appreciation for our lower chat folks. We appreciate y'all, man. Y'all need to make sure y'all get y'all tools. Want everybody should have a couple blades by now. Everybody should, maybe a pocket shark or something, working with your hammer, something though. You should be getting right.
Every quarter, now that we're talking about John Henry, every quarter I want us to get together and watch at least an excerpt from a movie and then give some analysis of it.
Yeah.
As warriors, we all give our analysis of that movie.
I swear I was thinking like we did something similar at one point, but we need like movie reviews, warrior movies though, like movie reviews. Definitely. What y'all think about that? Because I definitely think that I was thinking about that today and the day before. So I'm glad you brought it up.
Just got a new tool. Excellent, cool.
There you go.
I'm planning on getting a new one in about a month.
Whatever Baba getting, I find out about it. I try to copy it. I get jealous of people when they buy blades and stuff. So especially when you get Baba something's too nice, I start feeling the way I got to copy. So it's just the way it is.
I know he had. So they got me a Karambit, Damascus steel, right? I didn't know he had one. He pulls. I'm like, what the hell?
Hey, everybody, people put in the chat, let's get this for Bob. I'll be like, that's nice. What? I mean, Bob should have that, but I'm just saying, why shouldn't I have it too? I'm just thinking. All right, y'all.
All right, y'all. So be safe out there.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us. And I like Chris Rock and Fargo. I did too. Holly, these are the Empress.
I like Fargo.
Really did. I like Fargo, period. The movie and the TV series.
Yes. I don't know about Chris Rock in it.
Nah, he actually did. You know, I think that's his best acting, period.
That is his best acting. I'll say that too.
Don't mean he's a great actor, but it is his best acting.
That's his best.
And they wasted Bokeem Woodbine. I don't understand why he was.
Oh man, he's too nice. Oh my god, I love Bokeem Woodbine. By the way,
he's too great of an actor for them to just use him for that little piece. But hey, maybe that's all that he had time to do, or they could.
I was glad to see him.
They could afford him, so I don't understand. But anyway, y'all be safe out there. Be dangerous. And if you're already dangerous, stay dangerous.
There you go.
If you're not yet, get dangerous. Be dangerous. Okay. And stay safe. Love you all. Stay black, whatever it is that you may be. Peace.
Peace. Right.